copying or reverse engineering and efficient manufacturing abroad are just part of the story. It's not just that foreigners have copied our ideas. We haven't been far-sighted enough to exploit our own brilliant inventions. That's what happened to the key technology of this television set, made by the Japanese firm Sharp. It's a flat panel only 2 inches thick, far smaller than the conventional TV tube. The images are projected through a substance called liquid crystal, invented here at RCA's David Sarnoff Research Center in Princeton, New Jersey in 1963. George Heilmeyer headed RCA's team of brilliant but eccentric young scientists and technicians.
You know, we were all fairly young in those days. We were just out of the universities with fresh PhDs. And the interesting thing was that we not only worked together, we played together. Our technicians ordered their lab coats, pastel lab coats, double-breasted, of course, out of Playboy magazine. I think part of the reason why it was such a creative environment was that we weren't afraid to look stupid to one another.
RCA's discovery was revolutionary because it showed that liquid crystal would conduct light when an electrical charge was applied through microcircuitry. This made it possible to produce images on a small, portable, flat panel using very little power.
And in the process, we built the kinds of displays that you see on calculators today. We built watch displays. We even did an experiment in which we demonstrated that you could indeed put a TV picture on a liquid crystal display.
Did you know what you had then in terms of its potential?
Yeah, we did. And I'm not just saying that. We knew how important this discovery was, and there was a virtual explosion of press coverage. I mean explosion. It was picked up all over the world.
ニューヨークの RCA 本社
NHK, Japanese public television, sent a crew to the United States and made this film back in 1968.
取材班が訪れた時
We recognized the importance of the marriage of microelectronics and the liquid crystal display, but so did the Japanese.
This research is expected to have various applications in the future, and making the flat panel television with a liquid crystal would be quite an achievement. Thus, the Japanese manufacturers are paying close attention to this.
I went to Sharp headquarters and found the Japanese scientists who saw this broadcast 25 years ago and immediately sprang into action. Dr. Wada, the first time you saw this back in 1969, what was your reaction?
I was quite excited because I saw something very new. This is not a conventional display, but it's a new type of display that would be used into the next generation. Yes, I was quite excited about it. When we adapted this technology, it led to the electronic calculator. Because liquid crystal made the flat panel display possible, we then could reduce the overall size.
Inside RCA, Heilmeyer's liquid crystal flat panel display ran into the same brick wall as the personal computer at IBM. Established divisions didn't like the threat of a new technology.
The liquid crystal display work was turned over to an RCA product division for productization. That product division happened to be the semiconductor division. They were interested in manufacturing semiconductors. For them, this was a distraction. It wasn't their baby.
So RCA gave up on flat panels and spent its billions diversifying into frozen foods and carpets and rental cars. But Sharp knew a good bet when they saw it. Sharp bought a license to make flat panels and became a major player in the global electronics market. Was this a big gamble?
There was a great risk. And I think that it was a gamble at the time.
It took guts and long-term commitment. Eventually, Sharp spent several $1 billion on this technology.
But what we did was a step-by-step investment. We started with the electronic calculator, and we saw that it was successful. Then we turned to the electronic notebook. We always checked carefully at each stage whether this investment was worthwhile. But in the end, it totaled a few $1 billion.
The patient Japanese approach, building up manufacturing know-how gradually, instead of going for an immediate home run, has paid off. The Japanese now produce 98% of the flat panels used worldwide, with a $20 billion market beckoning.
The new Sharp ViewCam, an absolute original.
What's worse, I learned, the invention that got away may become the lab that got away. Some of America's great industrial research labs have drastically cut back on staff and research. So Japanese industry now outspends the US in civilian research. While Sharp prospers, RCA has gone out of business. Heilmeyer's old lab is a fraction of its former size. And nearby, Nippon Electric Corporation has built a plush new lab with 40 top-flight American scientists, symbol of a new challenge to US research supremacy. For decades, we Americans have assumed not only that our inventions were the best, but that we made them better and cheaper than anyone else.
Yes, Pontiac for 1949 has the greatest supporting cast.
Ah, yes. Remember those days? We came out of World War II riding high. The